what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Prop Wiz. I'm your host, The Wiz. I just finished watching Rebel Moon, directed by Zack Snyder, that was released on Netflix last night. Dude, I loved it. Well, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And look, maybe my expectations was way low. I had already seen a couple of non-spoiler reviews. Everybody has been hating it. I think I might have seen one little positive review. So I'm not gonna lie, my expectations weren't super high. At the same time, I'm a real big Zack Snyder fan. I've been a fan of his movies all the way dating back to Dawn of the Dead. In fact, I didn't even know he directed Dawn of the Dead until later, but I enjoyed that movie. It's one of the first movies I saw where they kind of picked up the pace with the zombies when the zombies were actually running. Real cool movie, but the movie that really got me into Zack Snyder was 300. Probably like a lot of people, 300 was it. After 300, he brought us Watchmen. He had Legends of the Guardians, that movie about the owls, his animated joint, super dope. Sucker Punch was probably my least favorite of his movies, but still the visuals were astronomical. It's a movie I can pop on and watch still. And of course, all the DC movies that he did that are divisive, but again, I love Zack Snyder, man. I love his visuals. Not just his visuals, but I am in tune to his storytelling style, which brings us to the review of this movie right here, Rebel Moon. It's right along the lines of his other movies. The only thing that made this movie maybe less in some people's minds was the fact that there was no property there that we recognize. Being for the last, 10 years, he's been doing Superman. He's been doing these big property IPs. This is something he wrote and created from scratch. So you don't have that connection of knowing what the world is. You're kind of going along with it as he's building this world. With that being said, I'm not saying that the story in this was super strong. It was very derivative, but at the same time, we already were given heads up that this was possibly a Star Wars movie, a version of his Star Wars movie that he had actually pitched to Disney before bringing it to Netflix and turning it into something else. So already we got that Star Wars connection. And then you had elements of Magnificent Seven, the Seven Samurai. There's these storytelling elements that's been in other movies that we recognize. And again, this is stuff that I'm hearing other critics talk about. They've been dissing it, saying how derivative it is. At the same time, some of the things it's deriving or picking from is movies from years and years ago. Unless they were talking about the Magnificent Seven reboot, which I don't think they were. I think they were talking about the original movie, which was years and years ago. So it's derivative in the way these kind of movies are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there was definitely a couple of parts that I looked at and could see, yeah, that comes from a Star Wars movie and that might look like and feel like Blade Runner. But overall, I thought the movie it didn't take me out of the film, dude. I was able to enjoy it for what it is. Now, again, the story itself is mad simple, man. It's really hard to even spoil it. I'm going to steer away from spoilers. I'm not going to tell you. There was one surprise that did happen in the movie that was worth it to me. Other people might think it was predictable. I didn't see it coming. I saw something like that coming, but not unfolding in the way that it did. Let me put it that way. As far as it did, it was kind of tricky in my opinion. But besides that, the movie was real simple, man. She's recruiting people, recruiting these soldiers, and that's the entire movie, which brings us to another part of the criticism and or the story itself. It's obviously a part one. By the time you get to the end, it does end on a cliffhanger of sorts. I guess there was somewhat of an end battle, but the overall arc, she was going recruiting people for something. We didn't get to that for something, right? The whole movie is simply her recruiting people. I will say this is something, there was parts of that where I've seen this done before. Again, that word derivative. We've seen this done before and we've seen it done a lot quicker. So this 2-hour movie, I've seen other movies where they've done this same thing of recruiting people in probably like 5 minutes, like it's a 5-minute montage. So again, that didn't bother me because I knew what I was in store for. I already knew it was 2 films. I'm used to Zack Snyder films in particular where they are 2.5 hours long, even before you get his uncut director's cut, right? So knowing this was going to be on Netflix, I just knew I was going to be sitting there. In fact, I thought it was going to be a 3-hour movie. It was only 2 hours, so it was a little bit shorter than I thought it was going to be. So overall, positive for me, but I will say this, the movie is very specific. It's very stylized. The look of it was reminiscent of 300, where you can tell the backgrounds are fake. Like there's a lot of CGI, but they were leaning into it. Like it looked like they were purposely being very stylized versus trying to be photorealistic with it. So with that in the air, I've got to admit, man, that this movie probably isn't for everybody. I enjoyed it for the most part. Again, not my favorite movie, not my favorite Zack Snyder film, but better than Sucker Punch, which is a lot of other people's favorite movies. So with that being said, this movie is not for everybody. There's definitely going to be some people that hate this movie. The everyday person like me, not the critics, that's going to probably not feel this movie because it's just not for you. It was very specific. in style, the acting, like even the acting, if you look at it a certain way, the dialogue wasn't very, very strong. But when I was watching it, it felt purposeful. It felt like this is how he wanted this story to go, how the dialogue was supposed to be, how the acting was good. Though I will say the acting was dope, man. The main character, what's her name? Dora? No, not Dora the Explorer. I'm sorry, Cora was the character's name, played by Sophia Boutella, man. She was dope. They did this thing where she was kind of skinny, man. She was flipping cats over. Her powers, her strength was a little bit turned up, but I felt the way her acting was, the way she carried herself, man. She wore this cool cloak. Even the way she walked in the cloak, man, she looked like a dope character. She's a character I definitely want to follow, see what happens in the next film. Digimon Hansu, I'm hoping I'm not killing my man's name, dude, but he was super dope too, man. He really didn't do a lot, which is a testament to his acting, man. His acting, to me, stood out the most. There was one scene in particular, again, not going to give it away, that it was like right from the jump, right around when they first introduced him, man, that was like, yo, he's bringing intensity to this, even though he wasn't given a lot to say. So the acting overall, I thought was dope, man. I think that's the one thing that most people agree was pretty good. So I don't know, man. It kind of sucks, dude. I think they would have benefited more if they had that part 2 already ready and or had broken this down as a series, man. They probably, in my opinion, should have released it probably as maybe 6 episodes, because I heard there's a 3-hour cut of this version. I'm assuming, knowing Zack Snyder, there might be a 3-hour version of his second cut. Maybe giving us a 6-hour miniseries probably would have been doper, and or release it the way they just released it, but having part 2 come out sooner. As of now, part 2 is not coming out until April, so we got to wait 3 months before we see the second part. I think that was a bad move on Netflix. For people like me who liked it, not such a big problem. Looking forward to the next one. But for the majority of the people, and I'm assuming the majority of people are probably not going to like this film, it probably would have been better to have that part 2, because I'm guessing part 2 probably has a lot more action. The first part wasn't heavy on the action. They showed us a couple of things, man. Beautiful slow motion shots, of course. They did have some dope fight scenes, but it wasn't a lot of it. Like I said, the main part of this was collecting these or recruiting these soldiers. So I'm assuming that the second part was where the fighting is going to be. It would have been nice if we were able to see the second part sooner, even if we had to wait, man, 3 months, man, come on. Anyways, that's my review, man. I really don't have a rating system. Yo, let's do that, man. We'll start a rating system. We'll do the 5 stars for now, unless we come up with something cooler. I'll give this bad boy 3 out of 5 stars. It was nowhere near a top 5 movie. Maybe if it was a TV show, I probably would have rated it higher. It was good enough to be a real dope TV show. But movie, even sitting at home watching it on the big screen for 2 hours, I think 3 stars is decent. It was definitely entertaining. I was never bored throughout the film. I knew what I was getting into again. But with as much money as they put in this thing, could have been probably a little bit better, man. But that's my review. Leave me some comments in the comment section, man. Let me know what you guys think. If you've already seen it, it's on Netflix, man. You ain't got no excuse. It's free for the most part. If you haven't seen it, check it out, man. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you guys think. How far am I off, man? Because I know there's going to be people that dislike. We already know. I've already seen the critic reviews. Assuming people aren't going to feel this. A lot of people aren't going to get it, man. I want to hear, man. See what I'm missing, man. Also, if you like this video, please take the time to hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. As always, I love you guys to death, and I check you out next time, all right? Peace.